Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. Been a little while, but here I am. Just been busy with work and all that stuff, and I got 5 orders in the queue right now. So, time to build some controllers, I guess. I had a rash of, I think, 3 Andy controllers, which is cool. So this is going to be a not very exciting video because I need to go through and I've already gone through and taken these joysticks apart, drilled a bunch of parts out. Oh, now it's a matter of soldering up a bunch of wires. I literally ran out of these joysticks I use for making my controller. So if you order something right now, it will most likely show back order because I'm waiting for 20 more of them to come in the mail, and they are not here yet. So, patience. It sucks. It's like I have to. The shipments from China have been kind of slow lately. Some things come quick, but the time then the awaiting flight is much longer than it usually is. I'm sure it's something to do with all this fun tariff stuff. Luckily, I do small packet delivery, which means it's not at this point tariffed. So if you do order stuff from China and it's relatively low value, which my stuff, I mean, eventually becomes higher value things, but the initial value of the stuff really isn't all that high, so it doesn't get like caught in customs or anything like that. But that being said, I could tell there's been less air traffic and trade. It's just because it's taking longer, and a lot more items are shipping from the U.S. So no huge secret. A lot of these parts come from AliExpress or Alibaba, but they're quite a few more shipping from the U.S. I am trying to source out. I know I can't find the joysticks, but I might be able to find an enclosure from a U.S. manufacturer. I'm a little worried about the price of those jumping up soon. We'll see. As you do all these carve-outs for high markup items, and then you like cell phones and stuff like that, and then you block all your you tariff the crap out of low margin stuff. So China's not going to care that you tariff steel and aluminum all that much because there's not a lot of markup in those items. So yeah, it's a silly trade war, which I hope it ends soon. It doesn't help anyone on any side. It's just kind of dopey. I don't know what the end game is. I know it's going to kill a lot. I mean, where I work, my day job, we make battery testers and charging systems and dischargers and stuff like that. And we can't order from China right now. We can't even order like wheels. It's so like ridiculously overpriced right now, and no one knows where the tariffs are going to go, when they're going to hit, how much they're going to hit. It's every day. It's like 25, 50, 75, 150, 200, a gajillion percent. It's like, where does it end? So, kind of silly, not very productive. So, I know 3 of these need to be Andy analog digital controllers. So, I have to make a little bit different of a wiring harness on the potentiometer side, because I have to the digital stick actually gets paralleled off of the analog, so that's how you can instantly switch from analog to digital without having to change anything, because I'm using the analog stick as the resistance source. I wish this thing didn't get bits jammed in so easy. It's my only complaint about this tool. So I'm getting a bunch of wires ready. Yeah, this is not going to be a very exciting video. Another thing I'm waiting parts for is I'm getting a batch of joysticks, digital joysticks in for my Intellivision controller. So my prototype seems to be working. I want to build up one or two more, and I'll do the big unveiling soon enough. I'll of course email. I have a list of people who I'm going to email first. You can always email me at retro@cyberfreak.com, and that's a freak with a PH. And I can add you to the list. But yeah, that's no guarantees in the hard dates, but prototype seems to be working. I don't want to release a video yet until I email everyone, and at least I can get that out there. We do some pre-order work. I just want to make at least one more and test it, and then I need to also design up the I also want to build up an Intellivision 2 and an Intellivision 1 controller. So on release day, I'll have both. The 2 is easier because it just uses a DB9, whereas the Intellivision 1 uses a basically like a DuPont style 100,000 spacing connector. So, and they're going to have different styling. The Intellivision 2 is going to be the beige, like you've seen already, but the Intellivision 1 is going to be black with gold accents, because why not? Maybe some wood grain in there. If you're going to do something, do it with style, as Doc Brown would say. Oh my goodness. I saw one of those quizzes on I think it's TikTok, like, score a point if you've never done these things, and I scored a 0. It was like using a rotary phone, used a phone book, used a paper map, all those things. I mean, that's what's just like, that's what this society was for a while. You couldn't not do these things. It's like you couldn't function in the day-to-day world without doing some of these things, so I found that kind of amusing. It's like, yeah, I've used a rotary phone, yes, I've used a phone book. I mean, but when I was young, that's what you had to use. I mean, there was no other way to do some of these things, like a paper map. So there was no other way to like really navigate, unless you're asking some guy at the gas station says, go 6 blocks down the left, turn right at the Chicken Shack, and you'll find it. I mean, it's just how you navigated. You didn't really think much of it because that was all there was. A lot of these things, we just didn't think much of it because that was just the technology at the time, and it didn't really like. You really couldn't conceive of a day you're going to have a supercomputer stuck in your pocket with access to the accumulated knowledge of the planet. I mean, it was way, even for then, that was like way sci-fi stuff. But yeah, what was also, there was like sent or received a fax. I've done that. Hell, you still have to send and receive faxes to do anything medical. It's insane. And then, if you ever wonder why, is because the Supreme Court ruled years ago a facsimile is a legal document. So that's why they still send faxes. That is a legal document, or a facsimile of the original document. Because other forms like unsigned PDFs, Word documents, things like that can be altered. I mean, even the PDF, if you work hard enough, you'll be able to alter it. Doesn't matter, no. Okay, so electrically, those are the same point. Gray to white, white to gray, doesn't matter. So yeah, I got to do all those things. Though they missed. Have you ever used a card catalog? Which is very hard to explain to a young person what a card catalog is. Though I'm quietly amused by some of the younger generation, like my son, he's 18. he just bought a typewriter. A really cool classic typewriter, actually. It's orange. It's a Seiko. It's made by Seiko. I can't remember the name. Really neat looking typewriter, though. Yeah, it's shipped from somewhere in Europe. Netherlands, maybe? I can't remember what country it was, but yeah. Beautiful typewriter. It was funny trying to show up. Well, two things. One, it's a purely mechanical typewriter, so you got to mash that thing to really get a good keystroke. And then the other thing is just teach him how to feed the paper in. But personally, I haven't fed paper on a typewriter. Hell, I switched to word processors back in 90, 89 maybe a little earlier than that. And because even when I went to high school, we didn't learn typing, we learned word processing. That was Word Perfect back then, and for DOS. That was what we learned to type on, and how to use Word Perfect. That was like the de facto standard for word processors. But yeah, let's learn how to. I mean, I hadn't used a mechanical typewriter probably 89, 88. It's the last time I used a mechanical typewriter. I did use electrics up until early 90s. Is like Smith Corona or Brother. I think it was a Brother. Can't remember which brand it was. But the cool thing was you can save your work to a floppy and do, it was like a 4-line or 5-line LCD dot matrix display, and you could save your stuff to floppy. I think it was this rich text format. But then when you want to type it, you can do the spell check on there, and then you say print, and the typewriter would just type. It was a daisy wheel typewriter. I remember that. Yeah, that was still pretty popular until the early 90s. That was still a thing until the prices of printers came down. But yeah, that's how old I am. But yeah, my son, he's 18, but he likes, he wanted a mechanical typewriter. Luckily, you can still buy ink for it, and it's cheap too. It was pretty impressive, really. Why is this? Oh, because I'm going upside down. That's why I put the lead in there, Dave. Okay. So the X. So yeah, I got to do all those things when I was young. Yeah, and of course, one was like watching VHS movie on VHS, and we all did. I mean, it was the only tech you had. I mean, there was laser discs, but that was kind of a spendy proposition. And we used Walkmans and Discmans, which was cool. Had big ass lead acid battery in there, it's gigantic. And then we never really thought too much about the technology at the time, but some things we knew weren't great, like the video quality of VHS. Not great. Realistically, you only got about 240 lines of vertical resolution, and sound was fine, but the color gamut is terrible because it was just a progressive scan. No, sorry, it was interlaced. My bad. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but yeah, interlaced image. So for you kiddies out there, how cathode ray tubes, or CRTs, work is there is an electron beam that is, well, up to 3 electron beams if you have color, that are steered using a steering yoke at the back of your TV, the back of the tube. And the remarkable thing is you have a how it works was, particularly when you have interlaced you'll see like 480i, which means interlace. So it actually only scans every other line as it goes down the screen. You get to the end of the line, then there's a horizontal sync, and you get to the bottom of it, and there's a vertical sync. And the fact that the phosphors is literally phosphorus, colored phosphorus, that glows when the electron beam passes through the transparent aluminum and hits the phosphorus. And then you had your flyback coil, all sorts of fun stuff. And back in the day, that's how they did it. My son is fascinated by like display technologies, like how they all evolved. Like from the black and white TVs to color to passive LCD, different types of LCDs, plasma. Oh dear, I cut too deep. I'll resolder that in a moment. Oopsie doodles. CRTs and gas plasma, which was that weird orange screen they used to use on laptops. Yeah, there's a lot's come and gone. You got the modern stuff like IPS. It's just in-plane switching, and you have OLEDs, which is kind of cool. Organic light-emitting diodes. I have a phone I think has an OLED. Or OLED, if you want to call it that. That's pretty cool. Nice picture quality on that. But then, let's see, got 1, 2, I need 3 Andys. Yeah, forgive me just endlessly babbling because I got nothing else to do here. Demonstrating solder is not the most exciting thing on earth. I did put some new decorations in my room. So it's kind of blown out color-wise. I got an arcade sign up there and the PlayStation control symbols. Now thinking back to my childhood, what was really cool was I remember when the PlayStation came out. It was 95, 96, somewhere in there. Big game changer. Whew. Just like you can divide the home console into before PlayStation and after PlayStation. Because PlayStation introduced, of course, well, no, they didn't. Someone else did. I think Philips CDI was the first optical-based one, and there was the Apple. There was a weird Apple. Pippin? Was it Pippin? Let me know in the comments if it's Pippin. I can't remember. And that was another. I think that I had a floppy. I think still. It was a weird, like, all-in-one thing Apple made, and that was like your TV and entertainment. And Philips CDI was the same concept, and those had optical, but like mainstream people actually bought the darn thing. Sony with their PlayStation was entirely optical media based, and that was a big change. Because you can have much more games. Of course, it was all they transitioned from sprites to polygons then too. So, but you need something that can really crank out the polygons to do PlayStation games. So that was a huge revolution. Then, of course, you have the most popular game console ever made, PlayStation 2, which is kind of crazy. It was in production for like 13 years or something just crazy like that. I figured it had like over 1,000 games, and it's just you couldn't believe like how popular PlayStation 2 was. I mean, Sony handily won that generation of consoles because it's just. I mean, even like firing up the PlayStation 2 now, if you're doing which button do you hold down? Square? Square. I think it was square. And it would switch to, as long as you had component cables, it would switch you to 480 P, which is progressive, so it fills every line instead of every other line, and holds up. Even playing on a good-sized TV, because I have a 50-inch plasma in my basement. I've kept just for playing games on, because it has like crazy fast refresh rate, and it has the same phosphors as CRT, so it looks your older games play really well on it. And then I use if your TV doesn't have component in, this, I'm not making any money off of this, but this is my personal favorite retro scaler. This is the retro scaler 2X. Supports component, S-video, and of course composite, because that's what I actually use for my if you look up in the wrong corner, over in that corner over there, if you look over in that corner over there, that is all converts to this, and then gets converted to HDMI, and then that goes into a video. It gets split. One goes in the capture card, one goes to my monitor I keep over here for. Yeah. But this is nice because you have different smoothing effects. You can have it. You can still do, of course, composite, S-video, component. Filter-wise, you can do 2X. So basically, line doubles it, and another one is a smoothing filter. So depending what you like right now, mine's set to just 2X. So basically, it's a line doubler. Well, it looks nice. I mean, you could see. It doesn't look like total crap. Oh, why does it do that? I told you to move this one bigger. Come on, OBS, work with me here. There we go. OBS is being cranky. Well, you can see it. See how nice and sharp that is? And that's coming off that retro scaler, so pretty cool. I like the retro scaler. Not the cheapest upscaler, but pretty darn decent. It's not like crazy price, but it's not like a $10 special. It's like a $40, $50 something. I know it has like a DSP built into it and stuff, so it's pretty darn pretty decent, because the upscaling's really clean, and the signal coming off of it's very clean, which I appreciate. But yeah, how long have I been on here? 22 minutes. Oh my goodness, my throat is actually getting tired. So I'm taking up a new hobby, archery. So it was funny, I haven't shot a bow in like 35 years, maybe longer. And I go out there, I missed, like, my first shot was like 10 yards that way. He was gone. And my wife, who's like shot an arrow maybe twice in her life, she gets like a bullseye in her second shot. I was like, what the hell? She's like barely, her stance is like terrible and everything, but she just got out there and just hitting the target. It was like, that is just crazy. She's pretty darn good, to the point it's like she's bought herself. We just bought at first a little inexpensive 20-pound draw. That's how you rate bows, their draw weight. This little cheapy ambidextrous bow. And to the point, it's like, oh, she wants a bow. She bought herself she's left-handed, so she bought herself a left-handed bow. And I bought myself a right-handed bow, because I am right-handed. But you'll notice all my controllers are ambidextrous. And that is because my wife is left-handed, and I appreciate that there are left-handed people in this world, and right-handed people who learn to play with their joystick on the right hand and the joystick on the left hand. Because that's what happens to me sometimes, is when I originally played... like in the original Atari, I used my right hand for the joystick because the fire button's on the left. So I find myself sometimes using if it's just like Pac-Man or something, I switched my right hand, because that's just how I learned to play the game originally. Because you needed that fast twitch for that. I even have I made a little retro system up there. And why is my screen off there? Oh. Up there. I specifically put a button up in the upper left corner, and I call it my Super Pac-Man button. Because when I was a kid, a local arcade had a local pizza place. I can still smell it. They're still in business, actually. They had a Super Pac-Man, and I played the crap out of Super Pac-Man. Of course, I learned to play with my right hand, but there's a button you have to press and go turbo speed when it gets the super power pellet, and I put a button on the left side so I can play right-handed joystick, and so I can play Super Pac-Man emulated. That's a hard game, but fun. Oh. Super Pac-Man, underappreciated. Miss Pac-Man, original Pac-Man, solid game. Miss Pac-Man, excellent. Super Pac-Man, really good. Yeah, your Pac-Man, yay. Baby, there was that weird one that was like half pinball, half. It was weird. You like play like pinball, and then but if the pinball hit like the top, it would switch over to Pac-Man. That was weird. I gotta look up the name of that one. I think they had it. I'm fortunate enough. I live south of Chicago, and I'm fortunate enough to live here because they have the largest arcade in the world, Galloping Ghost, up in Brookfield, Illinois. So I need to see if they have that, because that's a really fascinating game. I haven't played it since, again, another pizza place in Northwest Indiana. They had a. My dad liked pizza a lot. Come think about it, we went to a lot of pizza places. We always sat down though. They never got carry out or delivery. They always actually went to the pizza place and actually sat down and ate pizza. And for those not in Chicago, we actually don't eat that much deep dish pizza. I never had deep dish pizza until I was somewhere in my 20s, I think. Yeah, because we never had it as a kid. Because when you went to the local pizza place, it's all thin crust. And Chicago style just means they cut it in squares, not in triangles. So it's basically a thin to medium crust pizza, sweet sauce, sweet tomato sauce, and lots of cheese. Generally, your meat would be sausage, Italian sausage, and that would be your usual. So yeah, that's what actual Chicagoans eat most of the time. If you go to like a South Side chains called Beggars, when I went to as a kid, and of course they had Giordano's. That was another one. We always went to the Giordano's. Was a little bit different. They had a lot more, again, a sweet sauce, thin crust pizza, sweet sauce, but they put a lot of like fresh Parmesan on top, so it had this like really unique flavor from the Parmesan. I don't think it's quite as Parmesan-y as it used to be. I don't know if that's an adjective or not. But it's not quite as Parmesan-y as it used to be. But they're still around. Yeah. Aurelio's, Beggars. Pizza Hut never really took off much around Chicago because it's just too many local places, really. Then we got Lou Malnati's. You got that Detroit style pizza. I actually like Detroit style pizza. Jets, that's around here now too. I'm surprised they broke into the market, but it is different. National chains don't do well, like Mod Pizza, and there's some other national chains I don't even know about. Like what's the name of the Papa John's? There's some around here, but not like a crazy amount. And of course, there's still local places you can go to, which is nice. A lot of local food down in south side of Chicago. I'm a rambling conversation tonight. I'm talking to myself a while here. I was diagnosed with ADD, well, 9-10 months ago. And started taking D-amphetamine salt, which is also known as Adderall. Oh, it's helped. Oh my goodness. I know I've had like a really bad like focus problem. Not like, oh, he's just saying it to get Adderall, but honest to goodness, it's like my whole life I've been fighting. My wife really is the one that prompted me to do it. Just trying to focus on stuff. Like even now, they just upped my amount of Adderall. So I have one in the morning, one in the evening, and I can already feel the difference in terms of focus. Focus. So I usually wouldn't be able to. Why is this not taking solder well? Concentrating long enough to get stuff like this done, just knock this out. Because I've never sat here and soldered through 5 sets of potentiometers. But I've known I've had it my whole life. It's something I finally admitted. It's like, you know what? I need to actually treat this. So it's kind of cool. Actually able to sit here and focus a while on a task without zipping around everywhere. One way you know you really do have attention deficit is not, it's like you get the whole, oh, there's so many distractions now, and it's, we all have ADD because of society. It's like, man, not so much. Real, as I noticed that even when I was a kid, the attention deficit. And so the big difference is, if you ever do the robot, what do I mean by the robot? The robot is you go to do something, but you immediately think, I have to do something else. And then you start doing the other thing, and you go, no, I need to do the first thing. And you'll actually get stuck in this weird, like, loop. I mean, you'll go, like, bing, bang, like, 10, 12, 15 times, back and forth, and you finally have to go, okay, I need to do this. And, otherwise, I mean, you'll go, like, yeah, it's weird. But that's one way to know that you probably should talk to a psychiatrist at that point. You gotta be a psychiatrist. Psychologist is not going to help you with that. They don't do drugs. Psychiatrists do. It's because psychiatrists are medical doctors, so they can prescribe medication. So I need female. Yeah, they can prescribe the good stuff. Don't abuse it, though. Some people actually need it. Like Ozempic. If you're diabetic, your insurance covers it. Because that's who it was invented for. That is a quick way to lose weight. Yeah. Because I know, because I got diagnosed with diabetes a couple years ago now. And I got back on Ozempic about a month and a half ago or so. So thankfully I've already lost like, I don't know, 10, 11 pounds, something like that. Not too many side effects. Nausea though. I don't like the nausea. Particularly like the day after you take it. Because you take it once a week and it's an injection. And it's just... you get that weird nausea. So I need it because otherwise metformin just isn't enough. I don't even eat that much sugar, which was always pissed me off when I was diagnosed. It's like, I don't drink pop. For those not in Midwest, pop is soda or Coke, whatever you want to call it elsewhere in the country. But we call it pop. I don't drink sugary drinks. Not really a dessert guy, so it was annoying when I got diagnosed. I was like, what else do I do? I always walk at least over a mile a day at lunch. it's like, okay, so got on the metformin, that helped, and then I started Ozempic, it started coming out more, and I actually had to do insulin for about 2 months. And then it finally got under control, and now I'm just on the metformin, which is a pill, and then the Ozempic now, because my sugar, my A1C one was going up a little bit, so got back on that so I can lose a little weight. Liver enzymes are up a little bit, so a little fatty liver, so lose a little weight, that'll help that too. And then of course more exercise. My wife got me an Aquafit. Oh my goodness, that kicks your butt, man. Holy moly. So you're out there in the water, and the instructor is standing up on the dry land, of course, and you're in the pool. And for half the time, you have these damn dumbbells. They're resistive dumbbells you use in the water. And it's just, oh my goodness. Things are sore I never knew could be sore. It's like, oh, it's easy on your joints, but oh my gosh. It is a workout like you wouldn't believe. I was actually sweating in the pool. I've never sweat in a pool before in my life. I mean, that's how, it's like water aerobics, basically. And it's like, how am I sweating in a swimming pool? And it wasn't even like a warm swimming pool. It's maybe 70 degrees. So, yeah. Crazy. Well, I think that's enough for me babbling. Oh my goodness, how long's it been? 36 minutes. This is a long-ass video. Just some old guy talking to himself. But everyone, thank you for watching. I think I'll continue working on this a little bit longer. And then get to bed. And tomorrow, so good thing is a long weekend this weekend, so I should be able to catch up on some controllers, and I want to build up that Intellivision, and I'll, knock on wood, be sending out an email soon. And again, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are.